What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Exchange. Got my co-host Tyler back today, and we're going to get into Week 2 college football right now. Alright, so starting off, we're going to start with the Nebraska against Colorado game. Dylan Raiola did throw for 185 and a touchdown, but that is not the reason why Nebraska won that game. It was actually their defense that held Colorado down.
Yes.
They didn't get their first down until their fifth possession, and their total net rushing yards, or total yards, in the first quarter was -2.
Which is absolutely nuts because I didn't expect Nebraska to have the defense they had.
No. So Nebraska went into halftime with a 28-0 lead, which was the biggest lead since 2021 against Northwestern, which was 35-7. That's 9 straight games that they've held their opponent to under 24 points. I didn't know that about Nebraska. I just kind of thought, you know what, they win the easy games like they're supposed to, and then they fall apart at the Big Ten.
Yeah. As far like you said, did not know, but the stats are there. I always chalk Nebraska up with Iowa. No expectations, kind of surprised they're there, but they came to play.
Yep.
What did we say? I know there was a recap that I missed, but what did we say in the first week? The teams that are coming out flat are going to get slapped in the mouth.
Absolutely.
And not scoring at all in the first half is flat.
Right. And then Shedeur Sanders got sacked 5 or 6 times, which is not a surprise because he was the most sacked quarterback last year.
He holds
No
on.
offensive line. He holds on to the ball too
Yes.
long. He's only got one true target, which is Travis Hunter, who's playing both sides of the ball. He's got to be gassed.
Has to be.
And he's also got another Horn. He's also got
Yep.
that other receiver. But if you cover those two guys on defense, you can pretty much shut Colorado down. Simple as that. And that's exactly what Nebraska did. They finally got their quarterback. Matt Rule has Nebraska going in the right direction. If they can just get a few key more recruits.
Yeah, if their recruiting class can come in strong next season, hopefully they get some good off-season work. Nebraska's going to be around for a while.
Yeah. And what a good time for a team to come around in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You have all these new teams. You got basically 2 powerhouse conferences. You got the Big Ten, you got the SEC. Nebraska's coming up there, so and they got that huge TV deal with ESPN.
Yep, they got a
You're going to
TV
be in the
deal.
spotlight, winning big games. You're going to get people's attention. Next up, we got Texas versus Michigan. Texas became the second school to beat Alabama on the road, or Michigan and Alabama, in consecutive years. The last team to do it was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in 1979 and 1980, but they did have different quarterbacks. Texas did not. Quinn Ewers put on another show. This time, Michigan was that expensive.
Yeah, they, like I said, coming out flat. I'm just gonna look over here at what I put down on everything. It's kind of like, when you're not mad at your child, you're just disappointed. That's what it was. Their defense was lackluster. Their secondary was honestly a joke. They were flat. No explosion. They didn't, even going to the ball after you were beat. I didn't see heart. I didn't see hustle. I didn't see anything like that.
It's almost like they went into the game knowing
Yeah,
that they were going to lose.
Yeah, and this to me, this answered all the questions for Texas too. Texas has come to play, so SEC, watch out.
Yeah.
Not only was Michigan's defense flat, their offense was really stale. They couldn't get any traction.
Because they got the wrong quarterback in there.
Yeah, they do. They honestly do. This whole dual quarterback thing. Look at Texas. they have their quarterback and they're letting a superstar sit. Might bite him in the butt in the end, but trust the process. He's not working, obviously. Let's move on. Let's move on to just turn the page. Let's turn to another chapter. If they can get traction after this tough loss, they might be able to salvage the season. But if not, I don't see them being ranked very long.
Yeah, because Davis Warren, he did go 22 of 33, but a lot of them were screens.
Yeah, a lot of them were
crossing patterns.
You had to rely on your weapon.
There's
Which
no
you're supposed
downfield
to.
threat.
Exactly.
Um,
No salt and pepper. It's just there's no seasoning. It's just stale.
Yeah.
The offense was stale.
Yeah, Davis Warren had a quote after the game: "Is they're a good football team, and you can't beat a team like that when you shoot yourselves in the foot as many times as we did, referring to the 2 interceptions and a fumble. You can't do that against a team like Texas and expect to win, or even to have a close game."
Yeah, it wasn't a close game.
No.
I'm so sad. I'm sorry.
So, I know we touched on it, but is it time for sure to get a new quarterback there in Michigan?
I'm gonna say a third time's a charm, because Arkansas State is, I believe, what they have next. They can come in. They're on a 2-0 streak, have their heads held high, seeing what Michigan just didn't do, and roll off their what's the word I'm thinking of? They're hyped. They're hyped up. They're ready to go. I think they're playing in Michigan. Yeah,
They wouldn't go to.
it's
They
too
wouldn't
hot.
go to their
It's too
school.
hot. So I think they're gonna play with a chip on their shoulder, and maybe if he can, Davis could show something, he might
gotta
really
do
stick
something.
around. If not, then I would say it's time to get the quarterback.
Yeah, and what was strange for me to see when I looked at all the stats, Michigan's total rushing yards for an entire game was 80 yards.
That's unheard of for Michigan.
And Donovan Edwards had the bulk of it. He had 41. So that offensive line couldn't make any holes, couldn't downfield block, they couldn't make it up to the secondary, or at least the linebackers. I didn't even see a lineman get to the linebackers. So they got a really tough road ahead of them if they can't turn it around.
Yeah, it's definitely a fall off from last year.
Yeah, but yeah. So how successful can Texas be? They haven't played an SEC team yet. So where do you see them going?
Honestly, I see them doing really well. After watching a lot of the other SEC games, they're doing the same thing as Georgia, same thing as Alabama. They're there. They've yet to be tested. I thought Michigan would be a test, but Michigan played like a D2 school last week. So
Can't do that.
I thought playing a Big Ten school would help test them, but they're doing, even though that they're not playing the competition they should be right now, they're still executing everything. They're still doing their game plan, and I think they can be very successful this year in the SEC. This is your first year, right? This is the first merger.
Yes.
Yes. Them in
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yep.
Yeah, they deserve a spot for number 2. I was in question in the beginning of the season. That question, I believe, has been answered.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Notre Dame and Northern Illinois. This one hurt. But like I said to many people that reached out to me, is like the team that wanted it more won the game. And it showed on the field. You had Northern Illinois just flying to the ball, no matter what kind of play it was. All 11 defenders were rushing to the ball. And on offense, what's his name? Ethan Hampton was not reckless with the ball. He did what he had to do. He didn't try to force anything in there. He just let the offense work as it should. So big props to Northern Illinois. I've seen them play a couple times here since they're in the MAC. playing against Western.
Yep.
It's a good football team.
Oh yeah. And
Good
that-
football
it's
team.
For the year of the MAC,
Yeah.
they see all these moves that these big schools are doing, and not only them. Was it Bowling Green and Toledo, Bowling Green, and Northern Illinois. They came to play. Bowling Green lost, but it was
So that was competitive.
a very competitive game.
Yeah.
So I think they're like, hey, we can rock the boat a little bit, and they did.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's been a tough week for both
Yes,
Michigan and
oh my
Notre
God.
Dame.
Yeah, so jumping on Notre Dame a little bit, Riley Leonard looked to be a little confused on several plays, not in sync with his receivers. Either receivers running the wrong route or he threw it to the wrong spot. I know he did come into Notre Dame with an injury. I know it took some time, but he had most of the summer to get this down. And if he wasn't where he needed to be, then you could have put Steve Angeli, you could have put Kenny Minchie, hell, even CJ Carr. They should have started if Riley Leonard wasn't ready. So I'm going to ask you a question. Can Notre Dame lose another game and still make the playoffs? Because they have at Purdue, Miami of Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech.
At Georgia Tech.
Yeah, at
Which
Georgia Tech.
Tech was the school that slapped Texas. No, not Texas. No, not
Florida
Texas.
State.
Florida State.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Texas State.
Then at Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and ending the season at USC.
I would say if they lose another game, it's not only make the playoffs, they may not even be ranked. They've got a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, I don't feel confident with the Louisville game. I don't feel confident with the Florida State and USC. After what I've seen with the Northern Illinois
I'd
game.
be worried about Georgia Tech and that huge line.
Well, we know Florida State isn't as good as
True.
they were. Like
But
they should not have been ranked 10.
But Notre Dame came out stale, and flat.
Yeah.
So if they can turn it around, Notre Dame has potential to be really good still. So, but they're also in the same boat as Michigan. I feel like we're sitting in the same sailboat, and our sails are losing a little bit of wind.
Yeah.
So-
So do you think the big win last week with Notre Dame going down to College Station, beating Texas A&M, had that big win hangover effect where they thought they were untouchable, they didn't need to work as hard? It's a Northern Illinois, were favored by 4 touchdowns, and then they go out there and they get smacked in the mouth.
Possibly, they also could not have been, like you said, not been ready for Northern Illinois. Like you said before, they surprised you. They came out with hard work beats talent. When talent
Yeah,
is
hard.
working hard.
Yep.
They like Ethan Hampton. He didn't take any risks. He did what he had to do, and it paid off. And Riley, he said he's looking fluttered. If he can hopefully get his feet underneath them and sync up with his weapons, because Notre Dame's got weapons.
Yeah.
If he can sync up with them, I don't see an issue. So I'm hoping that answered everything.
Yeah.
It's just tough to watch both of our teams kind of choke really bad.
Yeah. The only difference was you were playing the third-ranked team in the nation,
Secondly, now
second, and I was playing unranked,
Northern Illinois.
4 touchdown
It
favorite.
could be the season of the MAC. You gotta be careful.
All right. So can you see Northern Illinois in the playoffs? If they run the MAC, they go 12-0. They have a key win against Notre Dame.
I don't know the rest of their schedule, so it'd be hard to go. But they do have the momentum after being such a prestigious team. I forgot. Did they play at Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yeah, going into the Fighting
Yeah.
Irish's home and stomping them in the throat kind of puts a chip on your shoulder. Also puts a little bit of a target on your back for other teams.
It does.
Same thing with Notre Dame and Michigan. You know, getting beat like they did puts a target on their back saying, hey, maybe they're pushovers. So, Northern Illinois, I can't say I'm going to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But after the Notre Dame game, I mean, it's like Iowa. You never know what's going to happen.
Don't get me started with Iowa. We'll get to Iowa here in a
Iowa
minute.
State, 10-7.
Oh my gosh. All right, so
It was raining. It was wet.
okay. All right, so what impressed us the most this weekend, or in week 2, was for me Rocco Beck, the quarterback for Iowa State Cyclones. It wasn't the prettiest of games, but for a quarterback to go into Iowa, not many quarterbacks do have a good day there because of that good defense they always bring. Yeah, the Cyclones were down 13-0, but he didn't let it phase him. And he went back out there, hit his favorite targets, Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins. Not to mention, he had that amazing drive to end the game, to win the game with 5 seconds remaining. So that really impressed me how he went into Iowa and took care of business.
Go ahead, sorry. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I was just sorry. Long day. What impressed myself was the Boise State Oregon game. I was the poise and caliber of both offenses were. I was surprised by both offenses how dangerous they were, but I was also kind of disappointed in Oregon's defense because they're down the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And Big Ten's known for their defense, and Boise State did what they wanted to them. They lost. They absolutely. There's a cat named Ashton Genty, the running back for Boise State, absolutely just ran every which way he wanted to. They passed effectively against Oregon. You know, being ranked, and what we talked about, because they were ranked third last, right? Was it Oregon third?
Yeah.
They were third in week 1. Or going into the first week 0, week 1. I'm very surprised on how bad they did on defense. They came out flat, but luckily they have enough weapons, and they stayed in the fight. But I was very surprised by both calibers of their offense. It was if Oregon can step it up on defense, they'll be dangerous.
Yeah.
And Boise State, hey, that dude's bad. That dude's a bad man.
He really is. Next on my list is a name you probably heard of before, but not the team that he's with. I'm talking about Kyle McCord, which you're going to hear his name a lot this season because what he did on Saturday was, and actually the first 2 weeks, he's been on fire. He's quarterback for Syracuse. Last year he was with Ohio State, but he transferred after Ohio State got Will Howard out of Kansas State. Let's see, what did he do? What's he got?
Over 700.
So, yeah, in 2 weeks, he has over 700 passing yards, 8 touchdowns with only 1 interception, 85 attempts, and 59 completions. I mean, that's top 3 in college football.
Yes, by far.
And a lot of them are like Southern Florida or Florida A&T that have all these passing yards because they get a quarterback, they get 1 receiver, and that's all they do. So Syracuse has a pretty easy schedule for a couple weeks before they get tested October 12th when they travel to play NC State. And then their biggest game is at home against Miami, which is the last game of the year. So Syracuse, if Kyle McCord can get Syracuse into the spotlight, take a run at the ACC, have it down to that last game against Miami, that's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yes. It's the year of college football. This year. Just a quick another thing that surprised me. I'm going to give a shout out because we have a local college in the MAC. I'm going to shout out the MAC. there's 3 teams that came to play, and I was very surprised by all 3 of them. More surprised by Northern Illinois. Sorry, but even Bowling Green and Toledo. Toledo ended up beating, Toledo had a great game, and Bowling Green was in the game until the end against Penn.
Yeah.
Which is a hell of
Penn
a
State's
school.
8th in the country where they played them.
I think they stayed in 8th.
Did they stay 8th?
They didn't move. But you know, Ohio State did come into our hometown. Kirk stopped us, and the other MAC got whooped too. But for those 3 teams, they surprised me. I'm giving them a shout out. So good job, MAC.
Yeah. Also, we're talking about the MAC conference.
Yes, MAC
If
conference.
anyone,
I'm
if
not
anyone
MAC.
doesn't know.
Sorry, yeah. Not a big MAC. You know, those are disappointing all the time. But
They never put enough MAC sauce on them.
no, they don't. Too much lettuce.
Good. Yeah.
Who let me down this week? I'm gonna keep this one short and depressing. Michigan and Notre Dame let me down. I had high expectations for both
Keep
of
my
them.
team's name out your mouth.
Okay. The Fighting Irish. I expected more from them. I'm not a fan of the Irish, you know. But
Why you got that beautiful helmet right in front
these were logistics.
of you?
We did it on purpose. I was very disappointed by both of them. I talked them up on the beginning. Kind of eat my words a little bit here.
Yeah.
And but you know, they still have a chance to turn around. It's
early.
It's early. It depends on them.
Yeah.
If Michigan's coach can get his head out of his ass and run actually execute the plays that we need to, and maybe switch some stuff up on defense, we might be able to, you know, beat a team like Texas. You know, that's a long shot.
That's a long. Okay.
And same thing with
The
Notre Dame.
bold
If
statement.
they came out not flat, not stale, and just do what Notre Dame usually does, they'd have won that game.
Right.
And yeah, there's a couple other teams that well, maybe not so much teams. The game was disappointing. The Iowa State game.
So boring.
I like watching paint dry. I mean, I understand the weather was really wet, and that makes it difficult to pull onto the ball, but run the ball. Don't
Yeah.
throw it. Make it, you know, that'd be fun. But it was,
Yeah.
and Western Michigan was a disappointment. I just was expecting them to score 1 touchdown. But that's what a short, sweet disappointment for me.
Yeah. So mine is Iowa. Since starting this show, I've been really hard on Iowa. They put on the most boringest games ever, and they showed me week 1. They put up 40. They had a shutout. I'm like, okay, Iowa, maybe this is the year you put it all together, and then I pick them to win against their in-state rival, which has had the upper hand sometimes, and they let me down. So, I don't know. After they played Troy in week 3, they faced Minnesota, Ohio State, Washington, Michigan State, and the only home game is the Washington game. Iowa has a very hard next 5 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of traveling.
I don't see Iowa. You know what? This is my bold prediction right now. Iowa will not be the Big Ten championship.
Ooh.
Nope. Get them out of there. Especially with all these other teams joining the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Iowa's out.
You're going to have to scoot over.
So you've been the best competition from the other division for the last 3-4 years. It's time to let some other dogs eat.
Will not eat much because they lost by 3. That was a terrible game.
Yeah. Another person who let me down. Quarterback, Utah, Cam Rising. Not his fault. Not his fault. He ran towards the sideline at the end of a play, got pushed into some Gatorade coolers, injured his wrist or his hand, left the game, didn't come back. Yeah, he still finished 8 of 14 with 92 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he still had a whole other half to play.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say this right now. Can we please get a full season with a healthy Cam Rising? Because I remember 2 years ago, me and my buddy were watching the USC Utah game, and that was the most exciting games I've ever seen between teams I don't root for. You had Caleb Williams, you had Cam Rising going head to head, and Utah pulls it out. Next week, Cam Rising injured.
Yes.
I was like,
Is
were like this.
Is he
And-
injured for week 2 or week 3?
No. So good news
Okay.
coming out of Utah is
Okay.
that he is ready to play in week 3. So, thank God. You got anything else before we get into week 3 predictions?
I was just seeing looking at the notes. I can't. I'd have to go back and rewind and do more research. Was it a dirty hit?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was a clean hit because he was on his way out of bounds. Correct?
He's not getting any more yards.
No, he was already conceding the fact that I'm gonna get out before I get hurt.
Right.
And he got that bump.
You can see the hard sprint, and then you see the let up right before he goes out of bounds, and that's when players, which is why I think it's dirty, they take that shot because they know it's like a 20% chance they'll get flagged for it. But other than that, since he's not technically out of bounds yet, they take that shot. Is it football? Is it a contact sport? Yeah, sure. Is it unnecessary? Yeah, it's unnecessary, which makes it dirty in my eyes.
Yes, I mean, maybe his intent wasn't dirty, but it's still.
It's not notorious. It doesn't make him a villain. It doesn't make him a bad guy.
It's just like when you're targeting, you're still hustling. You might not have meant to hit his helmet, but they're gonna call that now. Anyways.
Yeah, especially when you're going one way and then his head actually comes into frame and still hits it. You still get
At the
targeted.
end of the day, it is football, but maybe it was a Gatorade with a dirty head. Who knows?
Yeah, tamper with a Gatorade.
Yeah.
Crime's
I'm not
behind
going
it.
to call it dirty play yet. It's football. Shit happens.
Yes. My point was, it wasn't necessary,
No, it wasn't.
So don't
was not
do it.
necessary.
which makes it dirty. Was it vicious? No. Did he mean anything to hurt him or anything? No. He just wanted to get in his head that if you come over here again, I'm gonna pop you, and it's gonna feel like this. That's all it is. It's mind game. All right. Jumping into week 3 matchups, starting with Arizona versus Kansas State. I'm gonna go ahead and take Kansas State. They kind of showed me last week they stuck around and they won.
I also am going to choose Kansas State. Very surprising. How like you said they stuck around. I think Kansas State was kind of like a wild card.
Hey,
whoa.
Saying Letterman.
They were kind of like a wild card for me a little bit, but they've kind of shown they're ready to play.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for this game. I believe it plays. This is the game that's on Friday night.
This is Friday night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good Friday night game.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Arkansas State at Michigan. We're gonna go ahead and take the home team, Michigan. They turn it around. I hope Warren Davis isn't quarterback, but if you want to give him another shot against a lower class opponent, I'm all for it. But that doesn't help him when he's going against these other Big Ten schools that are gonna knock you.
I'm gonna take. I put question marks, I believe, because you never know. But I'm gonna say Michigan. This is when I would put my.
Of course, you never know. That's why it's called a prediction.
This is. But with how Michigan just played, it's a flip of the coin. This is when I would put my new quarterback in. A smaller school. They were tested. They're 2-0. Michigan's 1-1. Test them. It's a competition. It's, right?
Yeah.
You fight for your spot. Give them a chance to fight for a spot. if you show you what Warren can't do.
Now, would you be opposed to having Warren Davis come in first half, play it, see how he does, and then have Orji come in, play second half?
I
Then
would
compare.
I would have the other guy come in first.
Orji?
Yes.
Okay.
Because he needs to figure out what the start of the game feels like. That way.
Oh, yeah, getting pumped up,
yeah,
go with it with the
Yeah, because
confidence.
you're going in there, you're like, it's like a fight. You're like, oh shit, gotta get, you're all pumped up. Let's see what he can do when he's
Yeah.
pumped up.
You don't have Harbaugh there anymore, just beating the
Yeah.
shit out of his quarterback. Oh, now get in there!
Good job.
Who's got it better than us? Texas.
Damn. Northern Illinois.
All right. Next up is a game I'm going to be paying close attention to because I want to see where Wisconsin's at because they're going down to Tuscaloosa and playing Alabama. I'm going to take Alabama because why wouldn't you? Because Wisconsin is another team that I have a little bit of a hard relationship with. Same with Iowa. So, but I don't know. Like Luke Fickle, man, he's got Wisconsin going.
My bold prediction of the week
Oh, here we go.
is Wisconsin. Both teams are 2-0. Yes, they are going down to the south, to Tuscaloosa, wherever, Cousins, whatever. But they're coming off 2-0. And both teams, it's going to be a fun game. That's going to be the game that I watch specifically probably on that
Now, who did Western almost beat?
It was an accident. It was an accident.
All right. Notre Dame at Purdue. Obviously, going with my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. But it's going to be tough going down to Purdue. We cannot be flat. Come out guns blazing, firing off the ball, get turnovers, run the ball, run it right down their mouth.
After what I've seen, I'm going Purdue. The Boilermakers are going to just.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed Tyler. This is his last show.
Just after what I've seen,
You know what? Arkansas State.
Arkansas State. Hey,
You know what? We should have done the Notre Dame game first. See where your head's at, then I can make my Michigan prediction.
But hey, I said Arkansas State.
You put question mark. Nobody knows. No
Look,
shit.
look.
Game hasn't been played yet.
Right there, question marks.
Question marks.
Yeah, because that wasn't until I started talking until I
Yeah.
figured out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Purdue.
You still say Michigan though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Like you were gonna pick Arkansas State.
I mean, was a bet man.
All right. So you got Purdue.
Yeah, I got Purdue,
All right.
but I would like to see,
For the sake of.
for the sake of me being on week 4 or the week 3 recap, for the sake of that, I'd like to see Notre Dame win, but I think Purdue will win.
All right. Oklahoma State at Tulsa. Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah.
Tulsa's not going to do anything. LSU at South Carolina.
Ellis.
At South Carolina.
We'll go LSU.
Tigers and the Gamecocks.
Kitties eat chickens.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to leave that one
Hey,
alone.
I just got it. I just got it.
Yep. Moving on. I'm taking LSU. Boston College at Missouri. Missouri,
Missouri.
all the way.
Mizzo.
Until Missouri starts playing
Real teams.
talented,
Well, I mean,
more
Boston-
talented teams.
Boston College is ranked this.
I know, but it's Boston College. They'll have, I don't know, they'll have a flare up of a good win.
I pick
What?
Missouri too. So.
Okay, yeah. So Missouri, Tulane at Oklahoma.
I just-
I'm going Sooners.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
Tulane and Oklahoma.
glasses on.
Hey.
Right there. Go Oklahoma. Dwayne's not gonna do nothing. Maybe that's Toledo.
You had to look that up. All right, here we go with Ball State going against Miami.
Yeah, Miami's been throttled on.
Yeah. So Ball State's run comes to an end here.
Yes. Miami ran through Florida. That's my second.
That had to hurt you. So in the first 2 weeks of college football, you had your number 2 team lose in Florida, and then you have Michigan lose week 2.
And Boise State lost. Those are my 3 favorite teams. Besides Western is in there, but
You know what? I'm glad you picked Purdue. All the teams you want to win seem to lose.
You know what? It happens every time. That's why I've been a Minnesota fan. Vikings and Timberwolves, different sport or different stuff, different.
That's for you, Makai. It's a different sport.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Oh my God, we were talking about sports today, like football.
Did she feel better?
Yeah. And she went ahead. Me and Ryan were talking like football, and she was like, "When the Red Sox play?" And we were like, "That's baseball."
That's
It's like, "Oh, well then, how did teams get a home run?" Like, you're stuck on baseball. We're talking about football. It's like, "Oh, then what do you call points in basketball?"
2, 3
Points. Like
Free throws?
2-pointer, 3-pointer. We need to get her on here.
Yes. We need to get her some Patron.
Oh. I'll tell her, I'll have a 5th of Patron sitting here. You're just gonna drink, and when we turn to you, you just make a funny ass comment.
Let's talk about sports.
Just-
Today in tennis, they kicked the field goal and
scored a 3-pointer. Actually, she'd be kind of right.
I was about to say.
So it's a deuce. All right, where we're at Oregon at Oregon State. At Oregon State. This is a tough one to call because I want to go Oregon.
I'm saying
Just-
Beavers.
I know.
Just from what I've
know.
seen through Boise State.
'Cause didn't last year Oregon State go to Oregon and put up a fight? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say they won. Or maybe they did because it's toward the end and Oregon didn't make the playoffs.
Is that the reason why they didn't make the
I
playoffs?
think so. Also, they had a different quarterback. DJ Uyunglele is now with Florida State, doing a fabulous job.
Go Georgia Tech.
So yeah, like Oregon State, I'm gonna go Oregon, just because they're the better team. I don't know a lot about Oregon State yet, but if Oregon State can pull it off, I'm jumping on that Beaver train again.
Yeah, if Oregon State's defense, Jesus. But Oregon State's defense
I never
is,
got off.
is better than Boise State's defense, and they can still bring the caliber of offense. Like I said, I don't really know anything about. Like you said, OSU. I don't know anything about Oregon State. I might have to look them up here in a little bit, but
Yeah.
they're ranked. Are they ranked? No, they're not ranked. They could be.
After week 3, they might be.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm going with Oregon. I'm going Beaver team.
All right.
Team B.
Cam Rising and the Utah Utes traveling to Utah State. I got Utah
Yeah.
all the way. Cam Rising, 5 touchdowns, 78 rushing yards, and 1 rushing
Even
touchdown.
if they don't take, even if Cam Rising doesn't play, I'm still taking Utah.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Ole Miss at Wake Forest. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, not going to lose to Wake Forest.
Ole Miss is
Absolutely not.
Ole Miss is going to be a problem.
UTSA at Texas. Texas. Like, I don't even know why we're even
Go
putting that out
UTSA!
here.
Go Texas. I mean, I'm choosing Texas, but I don't want them to win.
Northern Iowa at Nebraska. Touched on it a little bit. Northern Iowa also 2-0.
Could be like a smaller version of.
I swear to God,
Alabama,
you
Wisconsin.
put Notre Dame in your mouth again with an example
I
of an
didn't.
upset.
I didn't. I said it could be because both teams are 2-0.
I know.
That both Alabama and Wisconsin or two. It could be like a smaller version of that, you know?
Yeah, it could be. Definitely going to pay attention to that game.
Yeah, that'd be a fun game to watch, I think.
Georgia at Kentucky. Also, this is a game to gauge where Kentucky's at. Did they take a step down? Are they taking a step forward? Are they just kind of plateaued right now?
They always seem that they have a decent team every year in and out, but there's never.
Until they play Georgia, Alabama,
Exactly. So,
Texas A&M.
hopefully, you know, I think Georgia's still going to win, but it'd be a good test game. It'd be a good see where you are against the B team.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Kent State at Tennessee. Once again, don't know why we're doing it. Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee.
That high-powered offense, along with that skilled defense, Kent State might score 3 to 6 points. I don't know. Western didn't score anything at Ohio State. Maybe they do a shutout. But that was
My bold prediction.
actually
Shut out.
no. Is that a bold prediction? I think that's just expected. You know what? Bold prediction. They score 17 on Tennessee. All right. So last week's prediction record, I did it by myself. Tyler was not here, but we went 18-4. It would have been 3 if Notre Dame would have. It hurts.
I'm not saying that again. I'm not allowed.
I could have been 19-3. But no, 18-4, but still pretty good. Still pretty good. But it's week 2. A lot of teams play teams that they should beat.
Yeah.
So this week, expect kind of the same. The next 3 or 4 weeks into the rest of the season, yeah, we're going to be.
We're going 100%. 100%.
Okay. Hey.
Maybe.
No, it's out there. No, bold prediction icon was right there.
Bold prediction.
Yeah.
100%.
Every time an icon comes up, like bold prediction is right here.
Not last, not the first week, because I didn't count mine. I don't know what it is. But this week, 100%.
All right, 100%. All right, but that's going to do it for us for College Football Week 2 review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The link for our Facebook page will be down in the description. Make sure you check that out. And, we'll see you next time. Damn it.
That's